Hey, okay. What up, everyone? What's up? What's happening? I know it's been a long time, but we will definitely be fully back soon. Okay, very soon. October soon. But anyways, what up, everyone? Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships. Okay, this is your boy M3. All right. I know it's been a while since I last been back in the scene streaming, obviously. But shout outs to the Intellectual SoapBox because he's still on the IG live, and I told him I was gonna get things like set up because by popular request, shout outs to Big Rick Slaps in the building right here. He wanted us to go live and do it. And you know what? And I think that's a good idea. I mean, why do shows like, semi for free when you could actually do it here on YouTube while you still monetize? Plus, you want to make sure you let YouTube know that you're still relevant. Shouts to DJ Witch Doctor. How you doing, sir? Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you as well. Let me get everything set up real quick. I want to make sure that we're able to provide you with the best. And pretty soon people will start migrating over here. So let's go ahead. We're gonna play some music, all right? DJ Eddie King's music. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. I want to make sure my voice is good. I am streaming on a tablet, the Apple iPad Mini, so I want to make sure that my voice is very clear. And I want to make sure you guys are able to hear me. So if you guys are able to hear me well, let me know, okay? In the meantime, let me see if I can play some sound effects. All right. Here we go. Can you guys hear that well? Hold on. Play it one more time. All right. Anyways, man, how's everybody doing, man? All right. I'm going to scope up the stream for people to chime in so we can have, conversation. We'll do that right now. Okay. iPad will let me. There we go. All right. So anybody that want to come up, feel free to come up now so we can have a good conversation. Basically, it's just like, open topic. Same thing like how Mr. Best was doing. People just talking about life, after the pandemic. People are talking about like, relationship stuff. People just talking about overall how life has been affecting them throughout the years of time. And overall, just the quality of well-being, like, how are we going to continue to be after this whole throughout this whole technology like stages, without the use of technology, would we be more social? Would we be more courageous when it comes to just talking to people, networking? Have we lost our ability to have simple conversations? And so that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. We go ahead to the YouTube side. That way I can pin it. Come on. It's been a while since I started streaming, so All right, turn this down real quick. And this to the top. Here we go. But anyways, in the chat, talk to me for the ones who are watching. What is on your mind? Okay? Because I got some things to say. I'm going to talk about how I feel like we as kids, right, especially when we grew up in the 80s, how things used to be when you had pretty much just simple video games, especially for us guys. We'll be in the house for a little bit, playing our games with our friends. Everything was all local. There was like no online capability, none of that stuff. Matter of fact, in the early stages, there was no internet. So you had no choice but to be creative as much as possible. So what do? Hey, after we probably play like a few video games here or there too, we go outside and play. And when we go outside, that's where we meet people. In my era, any block that you pass on by, you'll always see a couple of kids outside. You'll see a couple of kids outside playing, having a good time, meeting the neighbors, building friendships. But now, as an adult, and I'm sometimes I'll be passing through certain neighborhoods, and I see no one outside. I don't even see like kids outside playing anymore. Most of the time, they're in the house, communicating with their friends online, and I get it. Online is a tool to interact with people that is so far beyond your vicinity that you have no choice but to speak to them virtually. But here's the thing. Now, you have your cell phone, okay? And your cell phone is pretty much like your pocket computer. It's cool and all because it's very convenient. You can get a lot of work done. You can make money using the cell phone. It's very convenient. But the problem is that when it comes to, let's say, social media, socializing, you have those things at your disposal, but at the same time, you don't know how to interact with people in the real world. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna bring up the homie Big Rig Slap in the building. Add him to the stage. What up, Big Rig?
What's going down? What's going down, man?
Nothing much, man. Salutes to you, brother, man. Thank you for tuning in and popping up, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah. It was definitely a good idea that you had, man, just to try to, do a live stream, man, like for the YouTube, because, I haven't been doing this like for a minute, but we're gonna get back into it in October, definitely for sure. But yeah, but Riggs, man, like what you think so far, man? If you caught a little bit of what I was talking about, because most of us is like from the '80s, and so or maybe some from the '70s, but you know how it was, man. Like you had no internet. You may have a few video games, but that was about it. Everything was about just going outside and interacting with folks, playing with people, building fundamental relationships. But now, man, I drive by, man, and like, not that I'm looking for kids or anything like that. Let me just put that out there, for the sick minds in YouTube. But when I do drive around, I'm like, man, like even on my own block, I don't see like a lot of young folks out there, interacting anymore, playing outside, getting their workout, exercising. You know what I mean? They might be in the house, like, doing stuff online, which is not bad, but at the same time, socially, man, people become socially awkward.
Yeah, I think the internet, it did a lot of positive, but it also did a lot of negative, man. We don't even got Saturday morning cartoons no more, bro. That was a major thing growing up, was Saturday morning cartoons, your cereal, your Pop-Tarts, whatever your get down was, and watching them Saturday morning cartoons, bro. And then you would get the Soul Train afterwards and all that. You feel me? Like, you don't get that no more. And you don't, like, I blame the internet for all of that stuff, man. It took a lot of things away, a lot of streaming stuff. So, like, why put it on TV? People got their phones now. They can just get on their phone. The phone thing killed us. You know what I'm saying? I remember the beeper and having to pull off and hit the phone on the side of the street. You know what I'm saying? You don't see those no more. But I mean, it killed everything, man. Like, our whole interaction with each other is like, you know what? My family members are kind of far away. I'm gonna go ahead and make a Facebook account. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of keep in contact and say what's up. The fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? I get it, but that's how convenient the internet done made it. Like, our whole social is screwed, bro. You don't really interact with people like you used to. Even dating, you got dating apps. So everybody meeting on apps. And then when they meet each other in person, you know what I'm saying? It's hella awkward, like you said, because they ain't used to being around, you know what I'm saying, people contact. When it comes to the kids, that's a fact, bro. We used to ride our bikes. We had bike crews, you know what I'm saying, on our BMX bikes and shit. Meet up, ride around, and do our thing, bro. I see a little bit of the people on them bikes now, like the Rippers and stuff, and they do their ride outs, but nothing like what it was, man. Those things be like kind of, you know, situated and like events, you feel me? The weekend we gonna meet up. These were everyday things for us when we was younger. Going to the park, you know what I'm saying? Some playing basketball, others just out there chilling. You know what I'm saying? Maybe an RC car or something, you know, you riding your RC car around, you know what I mean? Just anything, go-karts, mini bikes, like, that's how we grew up. You don't see too much of that no more, man. And it's kind of wild, bro. Like, you know, the whole mall setup. You go to a mall now, you don't see the arcades in the malls like you used to see when we had them, bro. KB Toy Store and all that shit. You don't see none of that, man. Toys R Us gone. You know what I mean? They taking everything away, bro. Everything is just internet, Amazon. Get on your phone. That's it, bro. Like, it don't go down no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty wild.
You know, even Fry's Electronics, man, like, that used to be like my go-to store, man.
Did they take Fry's?
You know, Fry's used to have like 25 stores, man, like in the U.S. They shut it all down, bro.
Man, they had a big one out there in San Jose, bro. It had that little, like, that, what are those things called in Mexico? Man, I can't. Those like kind of rock building. What are they called, man?
Man, I don't know, man, but I think it's kind of like a rock house a little bit.
It's like their type of pyramid. You know what I'm saying? Their churches was in them and all kind of shit. But, you know, the Fry's out in San Jose, they had that thing out there because, you know, Fry's had that as their, like, little logo type shit.
Yeah.
That's how big the Fry's was in San Jose, man. That Fry's Electronics was rocking, bro.
Yeah, it used to be rocking and popping, man, like, out there. And then the one, like, in, what's it called? Like, close to, can't think of the name of that city, like, near, like, Union City, but past, like, Fremont. Let's see. Shout outs to Daryl Long.
Milpitas. Milpitas.
Yeah, Milpitas. Dude, and then there was one that was close near me, like I was hella mad too, because for once I was like, man, all right, we got a Fry's Electronics like out in the Concord area. So I was like, all right, so it's gonna just be like a cool little drive. It won't take me like an hour and a half to try to like drive out there. And that was like one of the first ones that got shut down.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, shit's like crazy, man. Like, and you know, of course, they blaming on the pandemic, but honestly, man, it's just people. They just stop, like, you know, feeling the need to shop out there, because you do have Amazon. You know, you do have other like deliveries that just come and just deliver it to you like right at your home. So people will be more willing to wait for like maybe a couple of days or a week, as opposed to just going out there and just doing the shopping for their own selves. You know, even like let's say like shopping for food, like simple things. You know, people go to like Instacart or whatever to do their shopping and all that, and having people deliver it to them. What up, Mr. Best? Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Pop
yeah,
up and pop out, huh?
yeah. I think he just fixed up his mic, but yeah, he's still in there though. Salutes to the Intellectual SoapBox, man. They definitely had a good conversation like on the Instagram chat, man. So definitely, man, was definitely inspiring to like just hear some good insights, you know. But other than that, man, yeah, man. What else been good? Let's see, salute. Um, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he said salute, salute. But yeah, man, like yeah, this shutting down like a lot of things down, man. And it's like, what's the future gonna be like, bro? Like, you know, with people getting stuck with technology, people not be able to talk to people. I mean, I understand, man. Sometimes like it's even for the people who are social, you know, I feel like it's more of a struggle for them because you're a social person that's surrounded by a lot of non-socialized people. And so when you're surrounded by those type of people, it could kind of condition you or it could kind of make you depressed a little bit. Because now it's like, even if you know how to carry a conversation, the conversation flow and the longevity of it is still going to be kind of awkward and can still be kind of cut short. Because you could ask so many questions, but if they give you one word answers, and you're more keen into it, then it's like, all right, well, I don't have the ability to pretty much prolong a conversation when they don't even want
Uh, well, to me, it's like they kind of already trying to get us ready, man, for a whole robotic world, man, to where they don't even need no human contact. They already kind of trying it in fast food places. You know what I'm saying? They got robot. I don't even want to say robots, but they just got fake sexual people. You know what I'm saying, that you
it.
can purchase. Like they're just trying to kill all human, to me, type of contact, bro, to get us ready for just a takeover or something else, man. And the thing is I don't even know why they playing like that, because who's ever like pushing this whole AI thing. I mean, you see commercials, bro. They try to tell you, don't get a lawyer, get an AI lawyer. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? And your chances
Yeah.
is better and good in your case, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just and with the actors and actresses, like they getting shots of them, and then they go ahead and making movies, bro. They go 86 them out. They don't go,
Yeah.
they don't need the actor no more. You know what I'm saying? We got a visual of you, and we went ahead and just did our thing, used sound bites of what you said in the past, however they do it. You feel me? And they don't need the actor no more. So it's like they just, I don't know why, as human beings, they are pushing that shit like that, because you just 86 in yourself. It's
Yeah.
like whoever's got the big bread and put money into that shit is gonna be the winners, bro. Everybody else, it's over.
Yeah. Real talk. Speaking of AI, right? Let's say even AI tools like like Chat GPT. Um, I mean, now these days, some people are using Chat GPT to help them to like give them tips on how to carry certain conversations. You know, I mean, it's a powerful tool, man, that has like worldwide like information that actually feels like you're speaking or getting advice from a professional human being, because you could have anything that's written out. You pretty much have like ChatGPT is like pretty much like the big brother for a lot of people that they did not have like growing up. And I feel like that's what people are using AI technology, yes, to replace the absence, of a human presence that maybe we was longing for growing up. And so, as technology and AI is, starting to improve, pretty soon you're gonna have more digital lifelike type of features. Um, there's like a website or a social media page, from what I heard, that there are people that actually will pay. Okay, it's almost like a OnlyFans, like if you're paying for pictures and stuff, but it's like ChatGPT type of images. You're paying for AI generated images of women. Some may have AI generated videos as well too, though. But you have a lot of guys that are actually paying to see like artificial women. So it's really gotten to that point, man, that people are really like beating their vegetables, man, for that.
Artificial women, bro. Come on, man.
For real.
You can't even make this shit up, bro. Like if we seen a movie back in the days, man, on the world kind of being like it is right now, we wouldn't believe it, bro.
Yeah.
We wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Hold on. First, I gotta give a shout out to Marcus, man. Thank you for tuning in, Marcus. Salute to you. All right, Lola, welcome to the scene. How you doing?
Hi, I am very, very well today. I've seen you guys up here talking, and I was like, let me just slide up here and see what they talking about. I see Big Big probably camped up, so I was like, okay, let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lola.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Miss Ocean from Game of Dragons TV. I also been putting in work with like the Chronicles of Lola as well back then for knowledge and relationships. So we definitely got to give you a round of applause or an air horn for the time being.
Yes. And I don't know if you guys know it, but there's been some snatching or at least talking about some of the shows that you guys did, a while back, and people was like, you don't remember that, and I tell them, I'm like, I know you seen it, like, and people be arguing over that, so I be like, listen, we didn't cover all of this, so you know how it is when people be thinking they be moving forward, but they be recovering stuff all you already did. And I was like, wow, if y'all missed that episode on knowledge and relationships, y'all is wild, because that was wild. But I seen it. I seen a few snippets pop up on other channels, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, we are pretty like advanced, like as a team together, man, and that's just like what it is. Speaking of that, look. I was going to hit you up, privately, but since you're here, look, we got to have like at least, man, like, a Chronicles of Lola, at least one good time or once a month or something, whenever you feel like it. But, the door is always open for you to expand your creative mind because you have a lot of interesting and intriguing topics to really deliver. And I think people really need to hear that again. That's just me. But we'll talk more about it.
Yeah. Definitely we can get together. I do have some ideas, but as you know, M3, okay. I'm still challenged, and trying to be consistent is a challenge. But I still got my pencil and pad. I'm writing my stuff down. Stop laughing. I still need some help, but I'm gonna get it together one of these days. It's just, I don't know. I'm transitioning with my job right now, and on top of that, I got too many channels, honestly, to keep track of. I really do. Like, I need to consolidate, but I don't know how because they're so different. But we're gonna talk though, for sure.
Yeah. I got some ideas that could help you. But yeah, in the meantime, I will say this though. As like we expand like our creative minds, and sometimes it's good for us to take a break and relax. Like I haven't really been around on a YouTube scene for a minute, you know what I mean? And you know, one is because like, you know, just trying to, you know, deal with health stuff or whatever, which is it's improving. Two, look, man, sometimes you get burnt out. You make so much content, it's like, all right, like I don't want to be like the guy that's be like, I've done it all, you know. But sometimes it's like you want to kind of reflect and be like, okay, how can I properly rebrand this? Because I don't want to talk about, you know, the same topics that that is normal for most folks in Black YouTube. I don't want to talk about manosphere stuff. I don't want to talk about feminism. I just want to talk about something that is weird, unorthodox, something that people can still be engaged to and still walk away, learn from something. You know what I mean? Like you want to have something where it's like, okay, like you can talk about these things, like, you know, maybe on other channels or whatever, but here, like, hey, if you want to expand whatever that you want to expand to, feel free to be your creative self. You know what I mean?
Right.
Without getting engulfed into the usual stuff that eventually is going to get old and die out anyway.
Right. And you know what? I think since I came to Knowledge and Relationships, that has been the prevailing motto, that whatever you do, just make sure you're creating your own lane. And that's you know, what I'm still doing, you know, so that's like a never ending challenge right there. But I know I definitely feel you on that, because truth be told, I'm starting to see the shift in the market, and we've been talking about that like over a year ago. But I'm starting to see the shift. But truth be told, the COVID situation kind of like created this in a major way. But it's just a matter of us saying, you know what, how do we recreate the wheel in a sense? And I'm still working on it, because truth be told, sometimes my content can get real trippy. And then other times it can get like I can be with the shits, I know. And it's like, then other times they be like, yo, she on that woo woo stuff. I mean, that's just who I am. So I have to figure out how to brand myself better, you know. But for now, I mean, people kind of getting to know, you know, me and like who I am as an individual. But branding is something totally like, you know, I'm still new to it. I don't care if it's been 3 years. I'm still new to it. Hey, Mr. Beth.
Salute, family.
What up,
you know what I'm saying? As I've said before, and I've said it to everybody, you know, on here. Well, I haven't said it to Riggs, because Riggs just naturally just him. You know what I'm saying? And I salute Riggs for that at all times. You know what I mean? But I've said it to M3, and I've said it to you, Lola. You know, just be yourselves, man. Just be y'all. You know what I mean? We already got the content. Just be yourself. Everything else will flow. And that's one thing I like about Riggs a lot, man. Because with Big Rig, man, like when he came in the game, you know what I mean? I met him. He just came in already with his shit. Like, it was already intact.
Yeah.
It was no type of nothing. It was just like authentic off the top. And nobody else was saying or doing shit the way that he was doing it. You know what I mean? And they still not. Like, the Easily Rich shit is different than everything else. It's conversation, but it's conversation on a very direct, very face to face, very urban way. You know what I'm saying? But it's done with respect and class. It's not done with no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they can't speak to the people, you know what I'm saying, in the neighborhoods or even in the urban community and not be on some type of clown shit or be on some extra hood shit. You know what I'm saying? But these brothers, when they speak, it's like you watching like Malcolm speak or like the Black Panther speak or somebody who used to speak directly to our communities. We don't get that shit no more, man. When somebody speaks to our communities now, they either trying to sell us something or they trying to sell something. You know what I mean? It's never just a direct conversation. It's always, hey man, the Black community to be together, but you'll also buy my book. Like, wait, hold on. Do you want me to be together? You want me to buy your book? Like, what? Like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? Or the Black community need to be together. Need to be together, man. Hit my PayPal. We need to be together. You want me to hit the PayPal? Which one? I can't do both, brother. Like, right now I'm in between. Like, which one do you want me to do? So I like the fact that they speak directly to the people and there's no agenda. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I like that too.
I appreciate that.
I definitely like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's real though, cause yeah, man, but you know, and it's like that, like with a lot of these, I guess, content creators or public speakers, which it can easily be a turnoff, because you're speaking something, right, that is so moving and compelling to the people. But I get it that, you know, you got to make your money somehow. But it's just like it's the approach, right, along with it. Like, yeah, like, you know, we as you know, like black people, we could do powerful things, but then yet, you know, I need you to pay for X, Y to the C of these courses in order for your mind to expand more, you know. And yet alone, don't get yourself caught up in like in one of those organizations where you invest into something, but now you're not even getting your money's worth. And then that's the worst thing, because we already have trust issues like within our own community. So when we're meeting certain scammers that look like us, it makes it more hard for us to really be more unified.
This is fact. Yeah, this is fact.
Well, see, the thing, the way I look at it with the whole content thing, bro, and how you said, you know, taking your break and everything. I always see it as, you know, it's entertainment, but you got something behind it. You feel me? Like when you come on YouTube, just like when you watch TV, man, you kind of want to be entertained, but you don't want to look like a fucking jigaboo, bro. Like, you don't want to talk about your black women all the time. You don't want to talk about the black men all the time. Like, you don't want to just show your fucking ass all the time, bro. Like, there's a time and place for everything, and sometimes it's cool, it's funny, whatever. I think with the content creator, you need a little bit of everything, bro. You can't just be Mr., you know, positive all the time. You're not gonna have no viewers, bro. We all know that. But when you just go ahead and you stick to a lot of just that fuckery and stuff, bro, it's just too much, man. It's damaging, man. And like, you just got to remember, like, Smitty said something that he was absolutely right, man. Like, some of the things that dude be saying, he be really on point, bro. And you got to remember, there's somebody always watching you, man. And when I came up here, like, I didn't really want to speak too much, like, on panels, because like I would see people and I would notice their conversation was dope. Their words, everything that they were saying was dope. Like, they had a good vocabulary. My vocabulary ain't the best, you feel me? But I know what I say. I'm not saying no bullshit. I'm not gonna guide you in the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put no negative into your head or nothing like that. But I just noticed that, like, when people get on these panels, man, and in these spaces, they kind of just say any old thing, bro, and just, I get it, you know, bait, clicks, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta always remember, man, there's somebody watching, man. Somebody's eyeing you, you feel me? And they just watching your play, bro. And it's like, whatever energy you want to put out there, I mean, that's cool. But like, as for myself, man, like, I just like to have a good time, bro. I always try to be positive, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't try to put no negative out there. There's too much negative in the world as it is. I done been through my negative times, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cool, bro. Like, I'm just good. I don't want none of that. I got a kid. I'm cool. I'm trying to fucking raise a young man, you know what I'm saying? And I got to give it to some of these spaces, bro, because when I came in to YouTube, my mind frame was still a little bit off, bro. Like, listening to Bro Clarence, listening to some of y'all made me change some of my thinking, man, especially when it came to, I don't want to say relationships or anything, but just kind of how I would view certain things when it would come to women and, you know, shit like that. Like, I was a little, you know, I was a little bit on some other shit, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it was just good to, like, hear some of the things, man, and that's what made me think, like, damn, bro, like, some people really do be listening to this shit, because I know I did, and get something from it. So
hey,
that's why I don't.
Do you remember the situation with Rozzy? Remember when
Yep.
he first came out and when he get why you slap?
Because Rozzy was on you when Rozzy first came out.
Listen. When I tell you, like, the fact that we was up here trying to hold it down for your regular people that got some sense, It was so crazy. And I mean, honestly, you know what, M3 and Mr. Best, y'all might want to pull some clips from back then, right? And just do a semi smoke show. Like, just pull some clips.
We got so much
Shit.
we got so
Do
much
some
like we got
reactions.
so
Do
much
some
stuff
reactions to your
between
old shit.
we got so much stuff between both networks that we gotta just we probably gonna sit back, maybe me and them three probably get together maybe either Christmas or probably Thanksgiving around
Mhm.
that time and just sit back and just kind of politic on some shit. And we'll
Right.
kind of like, because he'll have more free time then, because he won't be at work, and then I also have free time during that time too. So probably during the holidays
Christmas
we'll
time
probably
would be
get
dope.
together and just politic a little bit and kind of
Listen,
put some shit together.
listen,
Right.
I would love that. I would definitely love that because I'm still looking to see some of those clips we had, especially the one of me and M3 when we was dancing to Alvin Preach.
Oh, damn. Hey, I remember that too. Lola, I'll tell you this though, Lola, if you could do me a favor, because I know like when it comes to these clips, man, it'd be hard, man, just be searching through the archives. But if you find something, either like if you could like send me a couple of videos, or maybe like just timestamp them and tell
Okay.
me where to go. I'll try to dig into something though, so that way we could have like a whole compile and just like react to it.
Yeah.
I gotta answer Gray Pill's podcast because he's been patiently waiting. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, he said speaking of everyone watching, what do you think about a content creator buying subscribers and witness? Okay, he said he witnessed one that went from 40 to 60K to 8K now and 10K, right? Hopefully that's not you, Gray Pill, right? I'm gonna check your channel and make sure that you're not, you do look like that type.
Oh my God.
But to answer the question, right? Some content creators, right? I'll put it like this. In the beginning, I had people that came and said that, hey, I want to promote like your channel, and I was like, okay, how you gonna promote it? And they said like, oh, I have like a big following of people, and I could get you like 100, I could get you 1,000 and such, right? And I'm like, I was still like a little bit iffy on it, right? Even though I didn't go through that type of route, but there's some people that will pay and thinking that, oh, I'm getting real-time subscribers, because they will actually sell you that type of dream. But if you use your critically thinking skills, right, and you start analyzing like, well, how come you have all these celebrities, like these YouTube celebrities, vouching for you, but then yet there's no one that's in the comments, or you have your comments disabled? That kind of gives me like a red flag to certain things. And then as I start doing research, there is a tool where you pay for subscribers, but you're not really paying for actual people to support you. You're actually paying for robots,
Right.
And I still kind of get baffled because YouTube has that similar type of situation where they say, well, pay to promote. And maybe one of these days I'll do that as an experiment, but only just from YouTube directly, because maybe YouTube will send out advertisements or send out the channel to other folks, and it will be up to them when they choose to subscribe. But viewerships and fake comments or whatever, to be honest with you, it's not the way to go. You could easily get your channel shut down if YouTube catches you and it's not directly from the YouTube source itself. So you gotta be careful when you're trying to pay for subscribers. You want it to be natural and organic. When we had our boost from our first 1,000 to like 2,000 and 3,000, yeah, the numbers seem cool because it's like, okay, wow, we got a lot of people, and so we thought that's really into non-relationships. But a lot of people subscribe because I was posting certain clips or reactions to Kevin Samuels content, and the algorithm was bringing Kevin Samuels people over to non-relationships up until I took those clips down, and then they realized that, well, you're not a Kevin Samuels follower or a huge fan or whatever. So people was more into the shorts algorithm as opposed to the live streams algorithm. It's totally different. You have those numbers that's still there and those real people that still subscribe, but they gotta subscribe to your channel for you. If they're not subscribed to the live streams, they're not gonna support you. But you put up there like shorts, and it's like their favorite content creator. Oh yeah, they're gonna be commenting, and you'll probably get some more subscribers. But hopefully that answers your question.
Well, you know what I would say to that is this, right? I get it that some people want their channel to look like it's engaging, but whether or not you have subscribers or not, me as a consumer, right? When I come to a channel, I come to a channel because I like something that they're saying, or I like their content, or I'm interested in the topic. How many people are subscribed? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never subscribed to a channel because of how many subscribers they had. I've been to content creators channels and seen that they were 150, 300,000 in, and was like, nah, I ain't subscribing to this because it's some bullshit. Like, I've done that. And so it's like it just depends. But I think organic growing is better because, like you said, M3, you get actual engagement. And when you have less than 5% of your audience engaging with you on a daily basis, or whenever you go live, or whenever you put a video in, that says a lot about why they're subscribed, right? I know for me, I just been personally struggling, like, understanding the algorithm, because like I started with TikTok, right? And I put some stuff on there for my other channel, The Love Experience. And I'm like, why do I get like really low views? Because nobody knows me. I don't have any friends. But then on one particular video, I get like 1,000. I get 1,000 hits on it. And I'm like, I don't understand. I'm not talking about anything really different. Then I go to my Instagram thing, same thing. Some of them I'm getting, like, one video I got on YouTube, 10,000 hits. Another one, 8,000 hits. And then the other ones is like 35, 150, 400. Another one is 10,000. I'm like, what the? I don't understand how I'm even getting views like that on certain videos. So I'm doing my research now, but I got a suspicion that at least on mine, when I start talking about international matters, that's when I start getting them clicks like that, because I just start seeing I just notice little things, and I'm like, okay, let me see. I'm still experimenting like you. Like, but one thing I ain't about to do is buy no subscribers. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's an uprising of people who as far as like the different variations in viewership, Lola, is based on like keywords, and also it's based on different topics that may be trending or that people are interested in, and they may see somebody talking about that, or you may be in that algorithm for that, and then they'll look at your video based on the topics. Like M3 was saying, he was posting the things about Kevin Samuels, and people was watching because that was a hot topic. You know what I mean? And rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. And I'll say this: I think, as far as this is what I think, whether a content creator buys a lot of subscribers or they have a lot of subscribers organically, a lot of time when you see a bigger content creator, they lose the essence of basically caring about people who follow them. You know what I mean? And they only care about those who monetarily give them money.
Right.
They don't care about the person that's just watching because they love the show. They don't care about the person that's subscribing to the channel. You know what I mean? Because they've gotten so big that all they care about is the person that's giving a monetary gain. You know what I mean? And the problem with that now is that there's becoming an uprising of people who, you know what I mean? Not the problem, but the good thing is that there's an uprising of people who are now like, nah, man, F that. Like, if you are not about the people, if you're not about having real conversations, then we don't want to hear from you. You know what I mean? So it's becoming a divide now. It's becoming a divide of people who want to hear real conversations, and then people who just want to be on a BS time. You know what I'm saying? As I call it, Negro time. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, because of that divide, you know what I mean, things are changing. Like when I went live today on Instagram, there was two people that pulled up from the UK. One was an older woman, and one was he was an older gentleman. I wasn't expecting this at all. You know what I mean? But this is the environment that's starting to come now. It's starting to be people from all over the world to say, hey, we want to have real conversations. If you're not having real conversations, we don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the market that I'm in, man. Like I want to have real conversations. So the market for that is opening up, and now you got people from the UK, South Africa, salute the KMA, here in America, all over with people like, yo, we want to really talk. You know what I mean? And then you got all walks of life. You got people who are poets, you got people in the sex industry, you got people who are politicians, socialites, all types of people, man, just want to have real conversations. Religious people, atheists. Yo, you got an assortment of people, man. And they all just want to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And they don't care about, this person having this many subscribers or how much money you got. There's really a community of people who really don't give a shit about that. And they're growing day by day.
Right, right. Let me make sure I put this disclaimer for YouTube because I had to go to YouTube school for training, just so I could get like one of their warnings removed in the next 90 days. But anyways, YouTube wants me to always make sure that when we're having these type of conversations, and sometimes the algorithm bots could take it the wrong way. So let me put this out there. When we do our videos or our live streams YouTube, it's all for educational purposes. So when we talk about certain things that's going on with the communities, or maybe things that we say may sound a little harsh or aggressive, all this is for the entertainment, but yet educational purposes only. And we will never promote anything that's harsh, negative, violence, anything like that. So I just had to put that out there because that's what YouTube want me to say. But anyways, yeah. The algorithm will always change up. If you think about this, every month YouTube changes their algorithm. That's what I've been noticing. And sometimes the algorithm could come as where you have people that's like looking for relationship topics or relationship advice. YouTube does have some type of algorithm system where it will tell you like the hot topics that people are searching for based off of the ones who are currently subscribed to your channel. But also too, you're gonna have a fluctuation of people that are not really looking for relationship topics, but they're looking for solutions. It could be financial solutions. It could be like whatever. But it's based off of like, okay, what you talking about that you love to do and what is working. So when you had like, let's say, because I remember, I think you did have like 10,000 views on one of your videos from one of your channels. And, if a lot of people are into, let's say like philosophical, like conversations, sci-fi, it could be Wi-Fi. But if you're having these conversations that people are into, and then you're noticing, okay, you're having an influx of people that's coming in, viewing you and making comments, right, to what they're like. Let's say you're talking about Cleopatra. You have all these people that's into it. Now, that actually gives you a clue, like, okay, for this month, or maybe for this period of time, we have a lot of people that's really heavily into knowing certain artifacts about the history. Maybe it's probably Cleopatra herself, or you could probably have conversations and topics that are similar to that, but maybe with a different person in the more like East African type of realm or whatever. And see if the conversation could continue to flow. The other thing is that when you reply to the people who made the comments, you just ask them simple, like, hey, like, what do you guys want me to talk about in the next video? And if you have a general consensus of people that's like, hey, I want to hear about this topic, I want to hear about that, and then you're able to deliver, they're going to keep coming back because they know that, okay, by them like putting their voice out there and you're hearing them, it motivates them to continue on to see, okay, well, what she's going to talk about next. What is it going to be something that I'm going to agree to, or is it something that I'm going to combat with? But as you continue to produce, like, content that is fitting for yourself and for the viewers, the algorithm is going to flow. But then maybe the next month, you know, people may get tired of listening to these type of conversations, and they may want to listen to something else. So it all depends.
Well, I will say I agree with you on that, and this is what this. A lot of people just want the get rich quick status of it all. I'm gonna be honest with you because it's just like anything. You have to stay consistent and dedicated to it so that it can grow from nothing to something. And the whole buying of subscribers, that's just you trying to pretend that you've done work that you haven't done. And like with me, like with my subscribership, I have to figure out, do I want to be a content creator for real? Do I just want to like, kick it or whatever, and then put the effort in based on what I want? But no, I would never do that. Not even because somebody would catch it or whatever, but because obviously every sphere isn't about that. But just because of the fact that, listen, I don't feel good putting money out for something that's not real, only for me to know and to kind of front to somebody else. It's like I don't really care that much. But that's all I got to say on that. I have something that I've researched, two videos I researched, and I recorded for my channel, but I haven't released them yet because I got to figure out how to market them. But I mean, it's not easy. It really isn't.
No, it's never easy at all because it's so much competition when it comes to just social media in general and being a content creator. It's like, I'm not saying you have to hit like the lottery, you know what I mean, to get your stuff up there, but you have to have like a niche where YouTube can see that, hey, well, maybe we can make profit and we could just boost them up so then other people could see and subscribe to the network. Everything is always about networking to get yourself like to the top, because you have people who were once like smaller than us, but because they network with a lot of like major content creators. But like I said, you want to network people that fits within your niche. Now like some of them conform to what they're doing, and that's how they got their subscribers up there. But look, man, I still believe anybody could still have a following of their own. It's just that you have to aggressively just put yourself out there to where, all right, you put content from other sources outside of YouTube, people like your stuff, and you're doing like, let's say maybe clips from like your live stream. So you have to find a lot of live stream viewers if you're going through that route. But if you're doing like single content where you're just just producing like small videos, then it's like, okay, you'll eventually find like that type of algorithm where people will just want to see short clips, but they don't want to see live streams. Some people may not even like the panel version. You know what I mean? And other people may like, hey, let's sit down and, have a couch talk type of conversation. You know what I mean? So some people are into like those, but you can't please anyone. Like, you have to do what fits for you.
This is facts. Wait, what were y'all talking about before I came up here?
Man, we're just talking about life and relationships. Basically, it was just all like an open conversation of how like people
the difference in our childhood and now from all kind of things.
Yeah. So Lola, like let's say assuming you was born around in the 80s or whatever, or maybe the late 70s, and you grew up like without the use of a cell phone, the internet, and maybe by default, maybe there was like a few video games to play, like Nintendo or Atari. But after that, you just want to go outside. You see somebody, you just want to play with them. You're building like social, like relationships, socializing. But now it's like, children of today, like everybody's at home because of like, pandemic or COVID or whatever, like the after effects, people suffer mentally, emotionally, logically. You know, people are not really going out there to be social. And even I think even before that, it was already happening, but I think the pandemic enhanced it. So we was talking about those type of conversations of how it's going to become in the future in our prediction if this continues to be a problem, because right now we're going through a social deficit. But first, I got to give a shout out to Von Eric. You know, shout out to Von Eric. Good to see you here.
Von Eric, what's good, man? That's my music curator. Von, what up? Come up if you can, bro.
Yeah. The link is pinned to the top, so feel free to come up.
Von and Lola Part 2.
You know what? You're right. I ain't fucking with you.
I ain't never gonna forget that clip.
Listen, me and Vaughn are from the same town. Okay, we had the same crazy, so that's it. Okay. But no, to the point of like the difference in culture between people born in the late 70s and the 80s to now, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, that was the last traditional generation. And the reason I say last is because if you were born in the mid 70s to mid 80s, right, you were used to your mom being a stay-at-home mom, even if she also worked. This was the beginning of when women wasn't just like known to be housewives, right? And you started, like, when I first came up, there was no such thing as a regular phone. There was the little phone you put your finger in and turned it all the way around in the clock, and then had to let it go and watch it go all the way back, and then do it, and then you had to call the operator to figure out what was wrong. It was a bunch of crap. That's how I came into the world up until now. So my generation is like the people born and, let's say, graduated high school around 2000. We have a grasp on technology and tradition that makes us, I'm gonna be honest with you, more balanced than my mother's generation, which didn't, and my children's generation that didn't. So right now, what I'm noticing, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm noticing that people that are under that age range, right, don't seem to understand the importance of physical engagement. Like I keep hearing people say, well, look, the way you act on social media, you can't carry that in real life. And there's a big difference in how people born in a certain era act when it comes to that versus online, right? People that are very much older, they be acting like the 60s never ended and like we still living in that same mode or some shit. Like I don't understand. But people born in late 70s to mid 70s to mid 80s seem to have a balanced grip on what life was like before the cell phone era and after. Let's say before the internet era, because I remember when the internet first came out and we was on the DOS system. I remember all of that. And so this is what I'm noticing online, because when we talk about, for instance, social, somebody not having social awareness, right? And let's say they're socially awkward. This is because when they were in their formative years, they didn't go outside and they wasn't forced to show their personality, forced to understand when to do things, when to hold your own, when to be your authentic self, and when to shut the fuck up. They did. You see what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, we always had those kids in high school that just couldn't get it together, but that was usually a small group of people. Now that group of people is like half the fucking school. So I mean, I'm just noticing that from an age difference, and this is why with my son, I make sure I keep him in activities that keep him off the internet, because they love themselves some virtual games, like with their little classroom friends or whatever. I have to do that on purpose because I can't force him to just go outside and sit on the steps and do nothing. I live out in the suburbs, so we don't see a lot of people out here. I can't force him to do that. I did buy him like a basketball court, but strangely, it only attracts kids when there's no kids in my house. I don't know. But I'm trying my best because I was born in an era where, listen, if there was a crate, let's say, hung up against a pole, everybody was shooting a basketball in that joint. Didn't nobody have no professional like basketball courts in their parking lot. I'm just saying. But nowadays, kids are different. But this is what I'm trying to do as far as like hold on to my culture the way I grew up and give it to my children. And I'm trying to stress the importance of that to my kids, that you can't pretend that the internet is but so real. And don't get me wrong, it's real, but it's not but so real. Because I've met people, and I'm sure you have, M3 and Mr. Bass, that you've met online in person. I have, but it's like these are a rarity where you meet people in person and they are exactly who they are online. Like, it's a rarity.
I ain't meet nobody off of this YouTube thing, and I don't know if I ever will. Maybe one day I might. But I think my thing is that like that whole basketball crate thing. I remember that we used to be hooping on that like crazy. That little milk carton crate. Oh, we used to be going in on that, boy. Oh my gosh.
Wait, Best,
And we had a little fire. We had a little fire escape thing, and we kind of used a little fire escape as a basketball hoop. We was very creative as kids. All right, we was very creative. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of cell phones, when my family got when we got the Motorola cordless phone, remember them cordless phones in the house? When we got one of those joints, I thought I was the man. I used to go outside with the cordless phone and all that. Cause I was like, yo, we got a cordless phone, dog. You know what I mean? It felt like I had a cell phone. You know what I mean? Because that was kind of before cell phone. When you had the cordless phone. You know what I mean? You would sneak and take I would sneak the cordless phone and take it. You know what I mean? And take it outside. You know what I mean? Take it in my room, whatever. Especially when the folks wasn't around. Like when the older folks wasn't around. Yo, I used to be sneaking that joint away all the time. You know what I mean? Trying to call the honeys and all that. But that's a whole other conversation for another time. But yeah, I was definitely on that type of time, man. Especially
shout out to the
in my
party
teenage
line.
years. Yeah. You know what I mean? As a teenager, you know what I'm saying? That's how we used to get down, baby. You know what I mean? Your folks ain't home or they may be asleep. You got that girl number, you sneak on that caller's phone, you're like, yo, I gotta be quiet. You know what I mean? Dial a number, do. You know what I mean? And you be dialing number real quick. You hopefully she pick up. And the one thing is that you want her to pick up so she don't call back. If she call back, she gonna wake up your folks, and that's gonna be your ass. So you be like, dang, man, I want her to pick up as soon as I call. You know what I'm saying? And then like sometimes she'll pick up, she'll be like, oh, hello. You be like, oh yes. You know what I'm saying? Like she picked up. We in there. But if she didn't pick up and it was a late night, you know what I'm saying? You would tell her like, yo, hey, look, I just called. Don't pick up because my folks is home, man. Like, don't pick up. Don't call me back. I'll try to call you back. You know what I'm saying? Like about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's how it was. You know what I mean?
Yo,
that sound like a movie skit, 84.
Yo,
That
was some real shit though, for real. You don't want him to call back the crib.
That's how the movies was though back in the day.
For
that's how we grew up.
See, I'm telling you, man, this is where we got our creativity. We're going to talk more about like the creative side, but I got to read Quantum Love's comment. She says, I had my own line and chorus phone. Mother efforts couldn't tell me nothing, especially when I got my caller ID box. Okay. You know, Quantum was living a high life back then. She was living lavishly. And says, my voicemail, hey, back then, we was like, voice who? My voicemail had music in the back. Oh, yeah. She must have grew up in the suburbs or something back then. She says, I was in the 8th grade, thought I was grown, talking on the phone all night long. Okay.
Man, Quantum was living, yo. Quantum, you had your own phone? Oh, man. I wish, yo. Yeah. I remember, like, I was trying to talk, you know what I mean? It's like when I was like, I just got out of high school, you know what I mean? And I was trying to get my Mac on. And you know what I'm saying? Like my folks was like, they was kind of hating on my game a little bit, you know what I mean? So then one of my folks was like, you know what I mean? You know, Big Papa, he was like, my grandpops, he was like, hey, look, let me tell you, like, check this out. He's like, you want a phone? You want to talk on the phone? Get your own phone. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn. So I was like, all right, I gotta get me a cell phone. So I started doing my investigation, and then first I messed up because I got the prepaid phone, right? I didn't know for the prepaid phone you had to pay for all your minutes. So I was messed up in the game for a second, right? I didn't know about the monthly plan yet. You know what I mean? Then my homies put me on. My homie was like, nah, yo. One of my brothers put me there like, yo, don't do the prepaid, homie. Get you just a regular monthly phone. And I was like, what's that? He's like, yo, I'm telling you, just get the regular phone. Man, I got me that regular Verizon phone. Oh, I was in like Slim, boy. I'm telling you, I was living. Got that regular Verizon phone. The honeys was calling. I was calling them back. Oh, it was on, baby. It was on.
Was purchasing straight mints out the store.
Riding in Mercedes.
Oh, man. And I remember, like, you know, because when the cell phones came out, you wasn't used to memorizing your number like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one time I got laughed at by this chick, but I don't care. It was meant to happen. Like I couldn't remember the phone number, so I had just bought the phone. So I pulled out the big ass paper that they give you that you sign your contract on, and that shit
Mm-hmm.
was like 5 pages. And she started laughing, but I ain't care. I was like, "Hey, this is my number. Like, hey, you want the number or not? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the
Right.
Ericsson flip phone. Ooh, the Sony Ericsson. That Sony Ericsson was the one, and it had music on it too. Hey, don't. Hey, look. Let me tell you something. That one and the big ass Motorola joint, but it had the speaker on it. It was this Motorola flip phone. It had the big ass speaker on the front.
That,
I had
mhm.
one of them joints too, and that was lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was my second phone, man. And oh man, to this day, man, like whenever I think about that phone, I was like, man, we have some good ass like memories and stuff, right? But yeah, man, like see, those were times right where, okay, like we was definitely living it up. Now, see, I didn't get my first phone until like college, like quantum love. So like you start off like pretty young, but you might be born in the '90s. I don't know. You're a little young, quantum, but yeah, it took me to the college, man, until I was able to afford like my first phone, and it was cool, man. It was a cool feeling just to be able to like text, man. Yeah, we did have like the minutes and stuff that we had to be mindful of, but I mean now these days, man, like things are better and and more convenient. But
Cause remember in 3, they had to call you after I think after 9 o'clock.
Oh, seven or
7.
7, yeah, after 7, yeah, there you go. They had to call you
That's
after
how it
7,
was.
cause that's when you got your free minutes on. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
before 7, you had to
over
pay
minutes.
for your shit. You know what I mean? And
Weekends
then
free.
also the honeys will only like if you had a certain phone, right? The honeys will mess with you off the strength of your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wasn't like now where everybody got a cell phone, like everybody got an iPhone, like even just regular smuggler people got iPhones, right? Nah,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, if you pulled out a certain phone and you had the certain casing on it and looked at fire, oh, the honey would give you the number off top because you had a certain phone. Know what I mean? That's how it was. If you had a regular
Right.
flip phone, she may not give you the number. But if you pull out like a Razor, a Motorola Razor, and that joint was fire, oh, she was on you. Or you
Oh yeah,
even
nice
better
and
yet,
yeah.
if you pulled out a sidekick or a two-way pager, oh, you
I
was the
pulled
man.
out a sidekick on they monkey ass boy.
They was like, oh, this dude, he's balling. You know what I mean?
I pulled out a sidekick.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, Vic said, yeah, don't forget about the nights and weekends too. I actually
Yes.
made a song, man, back then about like cell phones and stuff, right? We could get on nights and weekends in the living room, or we could use unlimited minutes in the bedroom. But anyways, man, yeah, but as kids and stuff, man, like, dude, I miss the creativity. I think that's where I got my creative niche from because, like, okay, when y'all was talking about like crates, right? Making it to like basketball hoops. I use dollies, man, like like inspired of like Mario Kart. I was using dollies, taking like like the wheels and the stems from other people's trash cans, and I would tape it up, right, and I would have it as like my go-kart. Get some strings so I could steer it. And man, me and my family, my friends, man, like in the neighborhood, we was having a good ass time, especially like the bike rides and all that. And one of the things, right, that I'll never forget, right? Remember like those walkie-talkies, like those two-way walkie-talkies, Vic?
Oh, I remember one. I always wanted one of them shits, man. I always
If
wanted
you was
the two-way
a little boy,
walkie-talkie.
you had to have a walkie-talkie, man. One of them
You
Oh
never had one
Christmases,
of
you
man,
mine
had a
in your shop?
walkie-talkie under the tree, bro.
Bess, you never had a walkie-talkie before?
I always wanted one, and I
God,
think I never had a walkie-talkie, bro. I was trying
man.
to get one, but my folks knew that I was on some bullshit, so they wouldn't buy it. Like they knew like I was gonna be on
Oh,
some real crazy shit, like some Bart Simpson shit. So like, nah, you ain't getting that shit, man. Fuck out of here. Like I was a good kid. I was on the honor
Yo,
roll and shit,
Dennis
but
the Menace ass nigga,
yeah, but they knew like they came in
don't even
walkie-talkie. The turn up would have been real. It would have been a whole different shit. You know what I mean? Like it would have been a whole different shit. And I remember also back in the day too, Like, remember, like the homies had the little moped scooters, right? There was a whole phase when the homies wanted the little scooter, the little moped scooters, man. And if you had your little scooter, you was the man. And cats would be rolling around on the scooters, man, up in the hood, man, all the time.
I had a
the church?
Yamaha Riva.
But hold on, but Beth, the reason why I brought up the walkie-talkies, right? But your parents were smart. They knew, right? Because here's the thing. When I had my first walkie-talkie, I don't know what possessed me to like think of to take a metal hanger and attach it to the antenna. So what I did was a trick. Back then, like you could actually hear like tapping to other people's phone calls around like in your local area. So like I would hear like sometimes my parents talking, or maybe you'll hear like the neighbor, right? You know, talking to the side chick or whatever. And we'd be like, wait a minute, okay, why I'm hearing this on a walkie-talkie? So I'll take a hanger, a metal hanger, extend it, wrap it around the antenna, and it gives me better service so I can hear a person's conversation whenever they're talking.
Oh man,
that's a bad trade, M3, bro. What's going on, bro? You sneaky devil, bro. You sneaky devil.
Hey, I remember I had curfew too with the TV, and like you try to sneak and watch the TV and shit. You know what I mean? Or one time, like when I became a teenager, I had found the little adult movie stash that like my folks had. And boy, I was having a time of my life with that adult movie.
That's a whole different conversation.
Oh
boy.
man, hey, look, I gotta keep it deep.
Hey, we used to be like, hey, whoever get caught downstairs, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a few of us and we used to get the stash, bro. And if they would come home, we'd have to get it out the VCR.
Hell yeah. And yo, I don't know how they came in the house so fast when you was doing some sneaky shit. It just seemed like they came in the house real fast when you was on that sneaky
quiet,
time.
You feel me? You didn't hear the keys, no nothing. You just hear that door open. You like, what the fuck?
Word.
Hey, Vixen, I remember the chorus phone will pick up. Also, the chorus phone will be doing that too. Okay, we'll be listening. Yo, Vic, come out, man, if you want to. The link is pinned to the top.
Hey, what about when you used to stay up late night though, and then that United States flag and shit would come on, and the whole little what's that shit? That say king, that old bullshit would come on and shit. It was over after that, bro. No more
that
TV.
shit, and they would do the infomercials where they'll play all the old school music, and they'd be like, buy it now. You get all the old school hits.
Hey, I had Columbia House, bro, when they was doing like the 30-cent CDs and shit and some bullshit.
Yeah, I remember that.
But everything was all like the clean version.
Well,
I was getting NWA all clean, bro.
Let me say this about the flag. Okay, I know what y'all gonna say. I'm like, Lord, what are you talking about this damn flag? Okay, so although we didn't like that shit, the flag or whatever, and it just kind of basically interrupted cramped our style in a sense. Other countries actually noticed that, and they started holding high level meetings about American camaraderie. And what they noticed is that Americans, even though Americans might have hated the government, right? They all seem to have this camaraderie around being American, whereas people in, let's say, specifically India, didn't have the same camaraderie. So they ran some tests and they noticed that those little infomercials where you see the flag and where we sing the say, can you see? And we do the whole thing. They said that over time doing that, right, creates a certain unity amongst the people under the country that is more profitable for, let's say, politics, for your military and things like that, versus in India, there was none of that. And just recently, they started doing what we were doing back in the 80s now, create that sense of camaraderie in their country that America has fostered since, I mean, obviously 1900. But I know it's like, it was irritating. But to be honest with you, like when you really look at the subconscious like effort that the government was trying to do with that, it's just the same thing with the baseball games. Before we start any type of Olympic games, what do we do? We pay tribute to the flag and all of that. Whether you sitting down or not, you know what I mean. You love your passport, like just this is what I'm saying. So I used to watch that, and I remember I used to remember the Star Spangled Banner because of that, right? And
that's what it is. The Star Spangled Banner.
That was actually written downtown Baltimore. Yeah, right downtown Baltimore. There's a museum where it was actually written at, and same thing. Yeah.
I heard they took that shit out of schools, man. Like we used to have to pledge the flag every morning. I heard they don't even do that no more.
They took that, and they took prayer out of schools as well too.
Well, I can see the prayer thing because the first right is your right to the difference in religion. So to have prayer in school and it not be holistic prayer, like a community prayer, that would be a problem. Making it strictly Christian was an issue. Now the whole pledge allegiance to the flag. I think that should have stayed in there because right now when you grow up and you apply for a job, right? They ask men, how old are you? Are you signed up for selective service? That's part of your pledge to the allegiance to the fucking flag. So whether you say it in middle school or you get selected for the military, you still that's your pledge right there. So I kind of feel like we was on a good track, but for whatever reason, let's say probably your leftist reason, they took that out. But I thought that was a good thing because now, let's say 20 years later, you see children running a fucking muck in school with nothing going on in their heads. I mean, literally, and it's just strange. So, I think we took an L when we did that. Now I am glad that they took BET After Dark off, like from what they used to have back in the day. I'm glad they took it.
I like BET After Dark, man. Cut that shit out, Lola.
No. The uncut version, that was too much for adults. That was too much. I'm not trying to see that. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to see that. No. I don't understand.
Hey, I met my homeboy. He was watching that. He was drinking a glass of milk. You know what I'm saying? He was watching that joint. I'm like, yo. Hey, that BET After Dark and Uncut. Hey, that was a joint back in the day. I ain't gonna front. You know what I mean? The tip drill and all that. That was a joint, especially like on a Friday night. You know what I mean? You chilling at home, man. You know what I mean? I had to make sure the folks would sleep too during that time too. You know what I mean? They'd be knocked out or they'd be out doing whatever they doing. I'm like, cool. You know what I mean? Let me go sneak and watch my little BET joint. You know what I'm saying? Keep the TV low. You know what I mean? But also I'm back in the days too. Like we had different like food and different snacks that we used to like snack on too back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was the Lunchables or whatever, whatever
Fruit
type of food that we used to go up. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. The Italian ices, boy.
I know y'all ain't talking about that when they done clearly changed the recipe for Coca-Cola, Sunkist, and Chip Ahoy.
I know 7-Up don't taste the same no more. I don't even drink that shit.
Yeah, I'm saying like, listen. I don't know what that is. It tastes like it got some sort of alien juice in it.
Yeah,
even the fast food was different. Like you went to McDonald's with Vic. I'm gonna let Vic rock. You know what I mean? Like even the fast food was different. When you go to McDonald's, you used to get a chicken sandwich back in the day. Like it tasted so different. The herbs and spices, and it was crispy. It was really like a crispy chicken sandwich. Like that shit was fire. And the Wendy's nuggets too was fire back in the day. With the Biggie fries and all that.
That was before it was processed and all that.
Yeah.
Super processed.
McDonald's used to be good, man. Especially those goddamn Big Macs.
It used to be, bro. It used to be though, for sure.
If I walk in now, bro, I would throw up, man, because of the toxic smell to it. But I'm gonna fall back and digress. What's up, Vic? How you doing?
What's happening? Everybody all right?
Yeah, we good, man. We just reminiscing.
Vic, what up, baby?
Good old 70s and 80s. Most of us.
I'm about to take a dab real quick.
Y'all talking about that all that old shit. You know what I'm saying?
The old things. We talking about them old things.
Right.
Hey, when Lola said she had to turn that motherfucking phone and wait for that bitch to come back around, I said, hold on, man. You can't do that.
That's the truth, though. That joint, the one where you pick it up and you put it on the dial and you got to push the dial down for it to actually click down and hold and stuff like that. That's
the rotary. The rotary, that's the third throwback.
The old school rotary phone that had the gold trim on it.
Hell yeah, everybody's got the damn charm on it.
Yeah, not the '80s phone, not the '80s phone where you not that one. I'm talking about the one like my great grandmother had, the nice looking gold trim joint, looked like something from like the China.
That's like the bat phone, yo. Like you don't even touch that phone like that.
Yeah, right. You can't even really pick it up or touch it. That's the one I had growing up until what is it? General Electric came out with the phones that you couldn't really walk around with, and then they did the what is it, caller ID. That right there had my whole family running to it, looking at it. Like my father, my mother, me and my sister used to run and look, like, who called it? And then we like, do you know who that is? Nobody, like, nope. And we just keep letting it ring. That was
and then caller ID was everything when it first came out. Nigga, what?
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure that it's a bill collector. I don't gotta answer that shit.
Be like, that's who is that calling? Like, what? Nah, I ain't answering. It's cool. It's cool.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. The first time, I heard that call ID ever existed, and I kind of learned things like the hard way. This was like in middle school when I was prank phone calling like my crush, and the mom answered her phone. So we was like, pretending like we was like natives or whatever, because we was so stunned, and we was like, oh shoot, her mom's on the phone. We was like, trying like, talk away out of whatever. And next thing we know, she called back, and I was like, and she spoke like, like my parents' name, like, oh, like, is this such and such, right? And I'm like, oh shoot, like, how do I know, like,
on your ass, nigga?
right, like how she know my mom's name? Like, she must be a fucking witch or something, right?
No, what kind of hoodoo is this shit?
Right, like is she like the FBI agent or something? And we was like just so. But we got caught. I was like, oh damn. But it was just funny though, man. Like when about learning about call ID and shit. And since then, I was like, oh okay, shoot, get yourself a call ID box and you'll find out who's calling you.
I don't know what it was too, but for some reason the folks always had the phone right bottom. Like the adults always had the phone in a location where only they can get to, and you couldn't get to. Maybe it was because I was such a menace as a kid, and I was so mischievous at times in the house. They would just hide shit, or they would like keep the shit in a place where like they would be the main ones controlling the shit. Also, I remember when they were like, I hate when like you were coming from the store and they would send you direct. They were coming from the house and they would send you directly to the store. Like I just came from school and I'm tired. I done took my book bag on. I'm like, hey, look, go to the store, go get me this. I'm like, damn, I just got in. But you can't say shit or they're gonna get up in your ass.
Before you get comfortable, go on your ass right back out there. Okay.
Bruh.
Word.
I used to stay out in Sac when I was younger, right? It'd be hot as fuck out there, bro. I used to come home. Moms would be like, yeah, go over there to that AM/PM, go get me one of those thirsty 2 ounces, right? That's a 32 ounce. She didn't offer me one, bro. I go up in there, man, and fill that thing up and drink the shit out of that thing, bro, and fill it up and then walk back home.
Hit that bitch again.
Hell yeah. But she would look at it, bro, like you was drinking all my shit. I'd be like, nah, man. I was like, when I filled it up, you know what I mean? It must have dropped. You get that phone, hey.
Okay.
Hell yeah, that's that old school shit. Send you right back out, bro. You come home from school, you already walking. Cause that's how we grew up back in the days. Now these kids, they got Ubers, they jumping on buses, they partners, whatever the fuck. Nigga, we was walking, bro.
Everywhere, bro.
Walking or
you better get a stick to keep with you for them wild ass dogs.
Hey, I remember my shoes like having the flaps on them, bro. Like we really wore the shoes. My son never wore no shoes with the fucking shoes talking, bro. Never. I used to have flaps on my shoes, bro. Like I'd be like, damn, this shit crazy. We was really on our feet.
Once that motherfucker started talking, my parents is too motherfucking snooty to be embarrassed by you, nigga.
Right, but I'm just saying we was kids, bro. We was just out there, bro. We didn't give a fuck. Like we was on our bikes, do whatever, and next thing you know, we catch that our shoes is talking, bro.
And back in the days when you had to walk, you had to, because everybody, all the kids was walking, even like the bullies and shit, and the really bad kids, you had to find like alternative routes to get home and shit. Because them niggas was on that time back in the days,
or
and them niggas would be on your head
later and leave a little bit earlier.
Hell yeah, you're like, I gotta avoid these niggas. These are niggas from the other side, and they be mad at them niggas. They be like 10, 15, like goddamn, they have a dog, and they're like, where all you niggas come from? Like shit.
Fights right there every time you leave school, right there by that motherfucking tree and shit in the cut that you gotta walk by.
Like goddamn, I'm gonna just walk around this shit. Damn that. I don't care if it takes me 10 minutes. Shit, I'm going home, man. Damn y'all niggas, man. I'm out of here.
They over there sweating motherfuckers over shoes. I mean, I remember motherfuckers. Hey, I grew up when they used to sweat you over your shoes, bro. You come through with some Jordans or something, you coming up out them joints, man. I grew up in that shit. That shit was real deal.
I ain't never got.
I grew up when the car jacking over your Daytons and wire wheels. Nigga, that shit was real deal, bro.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
So, let me see your tag and shit. They try to see if your shit fake or not. They'll press you about little lame shit like that.
Bruh, they was taking feelers, troops, BKs, whatever the latest, whatever. They wanted them, bro. Like, it was crazy. Shoes, bro. First day is because back in the days, I don't know if kids really be on it now, but, we used to get we used to try to get like 5 fits in a pair of shoes, you know what I'm saying? So our first week of school, we would just be lit the first 5 days. You know what I'm saying? So we would set our shit out and, you know what I'm saying? Back in the days, the bullies, they would wait for them cats that would come through with the brand new Jordans or the brand new whatever and really catch you slipping at the end of the day or, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was real shit. Especially if you in high school and you got seniors, you know what I'm saying? And you a freshman. Nigga, I seen motherfuckers getting thrown in trash cans, bro.
Hey, them older kids used to be on niggas' head. Them older kids used to be on niggas' head.
Lie, bro.
And on top of that, hold on. And that's why you like once you kind of got established in your school, right? You have to leave with like some of your homies. Like you like, yo, what time we leaving, dog? You know what I mean? And it'd be like 3, 4 of y'all, and y'all leave together. Because I know if it's like 2, 3 of y'all, 3 or 4 of y'all, they won't really mess with you like that. They kind of let you slide.
Right.
But if they catch you dolo, it's your ass. Like them niggas catch you dolo, it's over.
You better come from junior high with your partners, bro, to high school as a freshman ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a whole different story back in the days with that bullshit. Like Vic was saying earlier, I think it was Vic or it could have been Watts, but you get into high school, bro. That's when that gang banging and all that shit really be like damn, bro. You feel me? Like we was cool, just and now you on just some color shit. You switched up your language a little bit. You feel me? Your strut is different. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit, bro.
Yeah, it's either you're about that life or you're not. So
period.
Move appropriately, accordingly. So yeah, man. So
period, though.
You couldn't be no L7. Remember those terminologies? You couldn't be no square. Right. You a square, man. It's over.
Stay in a square's place.
Yeah.
Don't be around them big ass rivers when you're supposed to be in that pond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Well, I'll say this. At least when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying, when we crossed over, because our middle school was right across the street from the high school. So when we crossed the street, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, them kids was big. Them motherfuckers look like grown men. They had full beards and all kind of weird ass shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. That's a fact.
Don't drinking ass niggas, man, for real.
But on some real shit, for the most part, if you was playing the, like you say, the square or the nerd lifestyle, they'll let you live a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As long as you stayed out the way, you could stay out the way.
You got to stay out the way, bro.
So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck going on now, but back then you could at least get your room if you made room for yourself.
Or like the cool thing too is if one of the bullies started to like you. Like one of the bullies started to fuck with you, Like, yo, man, hey, man,
They
84,
do
that's my
something about
man.
your style or something.
Yeah, like, yo, that's my man. Yo, me and him cool. Hey, once they like you, oh, you feel like you the fucking man. Like, you're like, yo, word? The bully
Hey, look.
like me now? Dog, I'm in, dog.
Like,
Let's go.
I'll say this way. I got to step in as the only woman up here. I don't know what y'all talking about. First off, when you're
Lola, y'all girls be bullying and going. Come on, Lola.
No, I went to one of the worst schools in my city. Okay, no, and the best too. But that's the thing. When you're a girl, right, and a bully, i.e., mostly a male, okay, likes you like that. Let me tell you something. That is one hard circumstance to get into and get out of. I remember. No, see, don't say that. I remember I was in school and some little. I was a freshman or whatever. No, I was a junior, but I looked like a freshman. And I was getting my lunch, and one of the little underclassmen had pushed me from behind. One of this bigger boy, but he was a lower classman, and he made my milk spill, right? And it was this other dude that came up there and was like, he just came up and he was like, little nigga, I'm gonna tell you one time to pick it up. And he was like, but and the way the conversation went, it was like dude was a grown man or something, and he was telling them pick it up before something get the popping off out here, like a whole adult or something. And then he picked my milk up for me, and that's when he was looking at me and he was like, how you doing? And
Lola, you didn't know the play?
I'm your man now. I'm your man now. I'm your man now. Me.
Later on, I found out he was a drug dealer, but see, that's the thing. I was trying to be up inside of that lifestyle with them people that be really killing niggas. Like, I wasn't trying to do that. Like, I was trying to let him down easy, but that was very hard. I really had to lie about that one. Seriously, I had to lie my way out of it. He looked like the type that had something on his hip and stuff, because we didn't have cell phones, but something was bulging on his hip. Okay. And that when bullies like you, like really like you, that is not the good thing.
Hey, that boy had that rocket launcher on his hip.
Lola was a little light skinned thing walking around there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm finna go ahead and get at her one time, bully this cat."
Listen, well, I think the reason was because I was transferring in from what people consider high sedity all girls school that was used to, just the way we dress, the way we move was a lot different. And like coming to a school in the inner city where it was a bunch of like gang members and rough girls, you see a girl like that, I kind of stood out like a sore thumb. And so I learned not to stand out after about 4 months. But yeah, no, that was not a good deal when the drug dealers and the bullies had to start noticing you. Like, no, that was not a good deal.
Some of the girls like that shit. Because they're the ones that's going to have the cars and all that, and the other dudes ain't going to have none of that shit.
Sure, rolling around in a car is nice until he break up with you and he put that thing up against your jaw and shit. Like, no, I ain't about that.
That sounds like a movie.
You got out of that part, Lord, because that would be a no-go. And most women, when they do get caught up like with these, like people like that, either they get like babies by these dudes. Then next thing you know, then the babies become like I don't know, they become like followers or whatever, or or maybe you get caught up in some ish. So. And last thing you ever want to get caught up is like, in something that has nothing like, like to do with
right.
So,
right. You get caught up in other people's mess because you're a female. It is, trust me, it is not a movie, but that do be happening.
Hey, what about them old school house parties though, bro? I know some of y'all grew up with the old school house parties, bro.
It's a
you go across town until the police come. Y'all have to shake, hit up another one.
Hey, look,
fights
Rick.
Breaking out, all kind of dumb shit, but just the house parties, bro.
Hey, it's a pair of blue jean, brand new blue jean prints on somebody's apartment wall right now. Cause this girl about try to grind me through the wall in that motherfucker, dog. And I had some brand new jeans and them bitches rubbed off on that nigga wall. That nigga said, my mama gonna kill me.
Oh my God.
Hey, them shits faded a mean ass blue streak.
Some brand new blue jeans.
Brand new, nigga. Ain't been washed or worn or nothing. I put them
Yeah,
bitches
that
on.
ink fresh than a motherfucker.
Hey, motherfucking, my homie was outside throwing up in the bushes. Okay, niggas was selling their first bags. Okay, it was everything was going on right then. Hey, some real shit though. When I first went to high school, right? Like the school I went to was actually like a decent school, was more mixed and shit like that. But when I first got to the high school, that shit looked like Joe Clark was waiting to get there, bro. That shit was serious business, bro.
Damn.
So look, bro, like
Fair East Side ass shit.
hey, bro, my best friend, his older brothers is much older than him, but they was, old enough to be in the high school when we got there. So you know what I'm saying, one was a senior, one was a junior. So we had a little bit of rep when we walk in the door, and I made sure to walk with him. You know what I'm saying? My brothers was already graduated and shit, so I ain't had no backing. It was just him and his people. So we all clicked that. But they had like legit gangs. Like the Bloods had this hallway, GDs had this hallway. It really Crip gang wasn't really no major thing, but we had our little clique right there on that first hallway, and we was PPI, Pimps Players Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? So we was more of a clique than a gang, but everybody knew that, you know what I'm saying, it was some solid hitters in our little crew. So, the rest of the folks, hey, everybody affiliated, you know what I'm saying, got like a pass. You could just walk where you want to walk for the most part, but niggas try to respect that. But I'm just getting there. Niggas don't know me. My face card ain't good yet. Dog, I walk down this hallway, cause it's first period, and you're gonna get a write up if you ain't on time, right? So I hear the bell. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go down here, and it's the GD hallway, and they was thick as fuck at that point. And I'm like, nigga, I got some affiliations, some connections. I know some lingo. I know some things I ain't supposed to know. I should be safe walking down here. And I started mobbing through there, dog, and it was like I was just looking at like trees. These niggas was way too big. Like there was a little boy amongst men in that bitch, and it was this nigga named Dion. And I'm talking about, I'm trying to think of somebody who he looked like. He looked like what's my man that played John Coffey?
John Coffey. The guy. I forgot.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Just dark skin, bald head.
Yeah, he recently passed away.
Yeah, he had like a heart attack or something. But the whole shit with this nigga is a whole monster. This nigga used to wear overalls and shit like this and just swole for no reason. And everybody was like terrified of this nigga. He was the muscle. But he had this other little, I ain't gonna say his name, you know what I'm saying? But it was this other little young cat, looked like Pimp C. And he was light skinned, a little chubby dude, but he ran the whole crew. And everybody, had respect for him, but he talked real quiet. So one day I'm mobbing through, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and just get to my class. And I felt my feet lifting up off the ground. I didn't even know what was going on. Nigga like slammed me like on top of the wall in the lockers and shit. He was holding me up by my book bag. It was nigga Dion. He had me yoked up. So I'm like, fuck. He's like, nigga, what you doing on that hallway? Nigga, you know the rules. And then I heard, Dion, put him down. Little nigga George, I said, put him down. That nigga sat me down. He just looking at me like he wanted to eat my face. I got it. He like, I got it. So that nigga's like, look, nigga, what you doing over here, nigga? Who you think you is? You know what I'm saying? Now this George over here goddamn hollering at me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say his last name, but George is good enough. And that motherfucker was like, I was like, yeah. And I told him a couple of things that I know. And he's like, you might be all right, little nigga. He said, don't come around here when I ain't around here, though. You know what I'm saying? Because Dion gonna eat your fucking food. But just after that, like the next week, we had a gang fight. I'm talking about when I got there, nigga, the whole school was fighting. Nigga, you ain't never seen no shit like this in your life, nigga, except on TV. Dog, yeah. I'm talking about the administrators, niggas choking administrators out, nigga. It was all going down, right? And like after that, they did like what Joe Clark did, expelled half the fucking school, and then they kind of went back and started getting ones that they missed and shit. But I'm talking about they cleared that motherfucker out. We went from like probably 1,500 people to 700 people like in a
Wow.
week. And they aired that bitch out and it turned into a decent school. So at least we was able to come up with the hooligans that we came up with, and then when these old ass niggas is bossing up on us all the time, you know what I'm saying? But that shit was serious business. You had to find, you know what I'm saying, somebody to latch on. I don't give a fuck if y'all was just the weirdos or y'all was the little skateboard dudes or the little neo-Nazi skinhead dudes, whatever. You had to kind of click up.
Well, truth be told, back in the day, like everybody had their group that they stuck with, right? But everybody was very clear that you had to find a group. You couldn't be the skateboard Joe trying to hook up with the head cheerleader girls.
What was your group, Lola? What was your group?
My group, no. My group was the Prissy Girls group with the high heels on. That was my group. My father did not. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like the popular like pom pom girl, but everybody knew me only because my brother was very popular and my little sister was very popular. So I came into the school and people knew I looked just like my brother or I looked just like my sister, and they were like, "Oh, okay, that's who she is." And so I became popular like that. But yeah, my group was the Prissy Girl group.
I got you.
Man, back in the day, there's a lot of stuff going on, for real. Yeah, man. Those were the days.
Where'd everybody go?
I don't know where they went. I don't know. M3 said he'll be right back, and Vic, I think, just dropped off for a second, but I think he'll be back.
Vic
I don't know where they went.
Make me chase his ass.
What happened?
I said Vic gonna make me chase his ass. He just talking and then just drop. What the hell?
Vic will be back though, man. Vic will be back. I know Vic. Vic will be back. Oh, that's somebody right there. I think that's him. Oh, no, yeah, that's both of them. Okay.
Okay.
Go, Vic.
What you say about my mama?
What you?
Oh.
I ain't see. Don't make me take your books, okay? Don't make me take your books. But I will say that I never really went through high school wanting to be really a part of any particular group, right? Because when I came in, I was a parent already. And so I kind of had a different mindset because I was a teen parent. And so, that's what that was. But I'll be honest with you, my little sister, she was part of the nerdy girl group. Because she was like that. She was to herself. She really didn't deal with too many people. My brother, he was part of that gang group. Like everybody knew what set he rep, where he used to be at, all that. So it was different for me. But to be honest with you, that again, back in the day, you had to actually perform. You couldn't be taking snapshots for the gram and pretending you live in the good life. You had to actually be about your business for real. Like when you came to school, people had to see you in real life looking good, like all the time. Most of us had snatchbacks. I mean, granted, I didn't have a snatchback only because my father, for some reason, loved Polynesian women and Polynesian hair. I don't know. Like he used to pay for us to go to the hairdresser to get our hair done a lot. But it was like that.
Let me ask you something. What grade were you in when you found out you was pregnant?
I don't want to tell you that.
You said you was a teen parent. That's like, you already told us.
I was a teen parent, but I can't say when I'll say this. I had my daughter beginning of 10th grade. Yeah.
So how did you manage another 2 years?
Hard work. I'm gonna be honest with you. Hard work. Just hard work. But I will say it was easier when I was emancipated as a teenager. and I went to school. I went to high school part-time after that, and that allowed me to work full-time so that, you know, life could be a little easier and I could get benefits and stuff like that otherwise I wouldn't be eligible for. But yeah, I was pretty young.
So what kind of a conversation? You mentioned your father a lot. Y'all had a pretty good relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of conversation did you have after he became aware? How did he handle you?
My father, well, when I got pregnant,
Yeah,
my father wanted me to get an abortion. My father was like, listen, what are you gonna do about it? What's going on? And my father had the money too. He was never one that didn't have money. He had it, but see, you know, it was like I just felt like I couldn't live with myself knowing that I did that, because I would always be every year thinking about the next year, how old the child would be and what it would be like, and stuff. And I was like, yo, I'm not living with that haunting over my head, like not like that. I'm sorry, there's worse things in life than that. I didn't want to be haunted by dead babies, like not at all. So, you know, and I mean, my dad, after I had my daughter, he felt bad that he wanted me to get an abortion. But you know,
he put the grandbaby in the face.
yeah, his grandbaby in his face, and it was his only granddaughter for a long time. And he had 9 grandsons and 1 granddaughter for a very long time, almost 20 years. And
I know she got princess treatment.
Yeah, she got the princess treatment. He felt like he don't care about none of them boys, just her. And I got 2 other boys. My brother got like 5, 6 boys. My sister got 3. Like he didn't care about none of them boys. He only cared about his granddaughter. But yeah, he didn't want me to have a baby.
So can you being a woman, right? Because it's not my job to try to tell women what to believe, but from your perspective, and I have my own personal experience, even though I'm not a woman, about the aftermath, or in your case, the avoided aftermath, the thoughts that you processed to bring you to the decision you came to, that was strong enough to go against your own personal interests and choose to go forward. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in the life. What have you observed through your relationships with other women that you know who may have made a different decision? What is the aftermath of that?
One thing I noticed with the girls who was in my age that did get abortions, right? And some of them got abortions and had babies and mixed it up. But one thing I noticed growing up with us in our generation is that when someone would ask how many children we have, we would always count the aborted children as our children, and then say, well, I got an abortion. Like somebody say, how many kids do you have? And you'd be like, well, technically I have 5 children, but I had 3 abortions. That's how women would answer that question. They wouldn't say I just have 2 children. They would say I have 5, but I had 3 abortions. That's how I noticed that back in the day. Now people just kind of like don't answer at all. But back then, a lot of times people would tell you, like, you know, like my grandmother, she had 20 children, but she had, I think, 10 miscarriages. Yeah.
I've heard people miscarriages, but I've never heard anyone willingly or openly just admit, unless it was like being pressed upon them to tell the truth about it.
No, this was back in the day. This wasn't anything recent. This was back in the day. If you had a miscarriage or an abortion, you would still count that child as, you know, a child. You wouldn't say I have 0 children. Now, I will say, if you didn't have any children alive, most women didn't want to talk about that. But if you did have at least 1 child alive, you would count all of your children, even if you aborted them. But now I don't see that too much.
Yeah, you know, I had, you know, some people close to me make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? And some even more than once. And I was able to see directly the aftermath of what that do to the spirit, what that do to the person, the, the, the way
Well,
they how the
you
way they feel.
as a female, we're built different. So, for instance, you know, we never forget. It always, even if we don't get into depression about it, we never forget those children that are aborted. It's almost like it's like a shadow part of us that walks with us all the time, because we always remember that day and how what the child would have been. And like I said, the part of the reason why I didn't want to get an abortion is because culturally I knew about that. I knew about how my mother, my aunts, my grandmother, how they used to say, I have X amount of children, but these are the ones that are alive. And so it was just like a dark part of every woman's past if she had a miscarriage or an abortion, and how she carried that child with her even though it wasn't alive. And I just didn't want to have that on me, for real. Now, granted, having children don't always turn out to be the blessing of your life, because there's some children that killed their parents in their sleep. I ain't even going front. But at the same time, the child,
He's talking about them omen babies.
yeah, them too. But then again, I've seen children that came about from grape, if you know what I mean. And those were the children that their mothers didn't abort them, but those children were there, the only ones there for that parent when it was all said and done. So, you know, I know a lot of people say when grape happens, they would rather abort the child, but I've seen people not go that route, and it actually turned out better for them because of that. So, you know, I just know for me, I couldn't do it. I understand other people feeling like, well, I can't afford a child right now. And there's some people that shouldn't be allowed to procreate, honestly. But, you know, personally, I got to live my life happy. I only got one life that I know about right now, and I ain't trying to live it in fear, looking over my shoulder.
No, that's real. I think like well, I remember an event that I went to, and there was like a protest against what's that place called, Parenthood or something. I forget the name of it. My bad. But
Talking about Planned Parenthood.
yeah, Planned Parenthood, and you know, when it was like doing a protest and it was giving a speech, like there were like women who went through like Planned Parenthood, the whole abortion process, and they were speaking on how bad they really regret, how it affected them mentally and emotionally, like when it came to like other relationships, and it felt like it was never the same. And when you mentioned about the hunting part, that was one of the things that they spoke out the most. Like every year, I count like, and I dream about how my child would have been at the age of 5, 18, 30. And it will forever haunt me till this day, like just making that decision, having regrets. And I know the problem where it could be a disconnect between people who are pro-life and pro-choice is because some of the pro-choice people, most of them went through, you know, unfortunate situations with dealing with other men in raping situations. And so they feel like, well, my body should be my choice because you already took that part of the choice away from me. You know, you did something to a point where it's like you put me in a predicament where either I have to look out for my future or now carry on a future with an offspring that won't really grow up with her father. You know what I mean? Because they don't have that type of relationship. So, you know, it is unfortunate, you know, when a woman is put in that type of like, you know, predicament, rather than maybe it was something that was based off her choice to begin with. So, but that's what was my experience when I was going through the protests. And you know, I believe like
everyone, like, can make their own choice, but there's always going to be consequences to the choices that you make. So that's the way how I just want to put it.
So let me ask this question, right? Anybody can answer it. So should a female so okay, if a female doesn't want a child, right? And she want to get rid of it, but the man wants to keep the child, right? Know what I mean? Is it wrong for her to get rid of it still, or should she consider how the man feels? Because I always hear people say, women should have the right to like choose whether the child is here or not. You know what I'm saying? So should they have the right to be like, yo, I'm gonna get rid of this child? You let's say the man wants the child. You're like, nah, don't get rid of it. I want it. She's like, nah, I'm getting rid of it because I don't want it. Is she wrong for doing that, or is she all right?
Well,
Oh,
okay.
damn. Okay.
Let me say this first, right?
Mhm.
There's it's two sides to look at that. One side is the moral side, right? That has different faucets, and then the other side is the legal side, right? Um, from a legal standpoint, right? It's complicated on both sides because legally, right? What's inside of her belly is his DNA. And we already know legally, if you destroy DNA, right, as a legal entity, right, that's a lawsuit right there. So it's like you don't have permission to have it. But on the same side, how do you prove that that's your DNA in her belly and not some other man's DNA, right? Now, granted, there are ways that they can test for whose baby it is, but those tests heighten the chance of a miscarriage. And I'm talking about late term miscarriage at that. It doesn't cause it, but it does heighten the chances of it. So on that front, sure, the man should have a say in what is his, literally, right? On the other side, on the moral side, it's like this. As a man, you may want the baby because for whatever reason, right? But you're not the one that has to carry the child, right? And I don't think men can really understand what happens when a woman carries a child, when she can feel that child's heartbeat and that child is listening to hers and they're sharing blood and chemicals and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it recognizes her voice and things like that. And how if someone's going to have a baby like that, right? And not be a part of the child's life, how that child has to break that bond it already had and then try to bond with something else that is biologically not equipped to bond with as an infant, meaning the father. Children bond with their father a little later on, not so much the same as with mom. So now, okay, he has to try and do that. But to the further extent, right? Now, suppose the woman is like, well, listen, like, Michael Jackson's baby mother. I'll have the child, give it to you, and then I'm gone, right? Now you got to look at the fact that, well, the child now still wants to know who's his mother. And now you have to deal with the issue of, well, you wanted me, and now my mother didn't want me. And now you back to square one with the whole broken family issue situation, right? And as much as people say, well, children do better under single parent homes, truth be told, they don't necessarily do better. They might do better financially, but they don't do better in terms of relationships. I've been with several men that grew up without their mothers, and I'm telling you now, that is a recipe for disaster. Those men are highly probable of getting divorces, if not even getting married at all. It's just a brain development thing. So I remember there was a movie on Lifetime television about a little boy. I think he was like 16 years old, and his girlfriend got pregnant, and he didn't want her to get an abortion, and he took her to court, and he won. And so she had the child, and he took the baby. However, when he took the baby, because of all these things I said, it was very hard for him to manage in school. It was very hard for him to manage the child without going through a mental breakdown, because he wasn't equipped to deal with that high-pitched voice that children sound off as. There was no breastfeeding, so he had to do all of that artificially. And it took a lot out of the little boy to try and take care of a child as a child too. And God knows what would have happened if he would have been a grown man, having a whole job, full-time and some. But, these are the problems that happen when young people are allowed to have sex, when adults are allowed to have sex and they can't they're not ready to parent children. These are the problems. So when you say, well, is it fair for him to say, I want the baby? Sure, it's fair. But is it the right thing to do? Is it the right thing for her to go ahead and have the baby and give it away versus do what most people would say she should do, which is lay in the bed that she made for herself, right? So there's a lot of arguments on both sides of that. But I think the way men think is, that's my DNA. Sure, that's your DNA, but beyond your DNA, what are some other things that will cost you to even have that circumstance?
Real quick, I gotta give a shout out to Not Your Average Guy. Thank you for tuning in. Late till fall, salutes to you. Hank in the basement, like, you know, salutes to you, fam. Not Your Average Guy had a statement to say, which this is gonna lead to a question that I want to ask, right? But he says, like, the part that the man doesn't develop a connection until the child is born. Now, that could be a little bit controversial in my opinion, because there might be some people that says, hey, you know, I could as a man, even though I'm not the one who's carrying the seed, but logically, or I was just say emotionally, for a man, hey, like, you know, I planted the seed, you know, for one who's carrying. So I too have a connection to my unborn child, but I could be wrong as well too. What do you think about that part? That the man has to have a connection until the child is born.
This is true.
Oh, deep connection, it says.
Well, connection first is what he's saying is true in terms of connection. The child has a need to be underneath of its mother and connect to the mother, not a need to connect to the father. That's just a biological thing. That's not a you're less than thing. That's just a biological thing. However, when the child starts to get older, now as the child ages, there becomes a gap in the child's mind that only the father can fill. So this is why the older the child gets, the less the child depends on mom and now depends psychologically on dad for that bonding. So he's right. That deeper connection comes over time with men. It doesn't come initially with men. And so, you know, it's a biological thing.
That's not true.
You had a baby?
That's not true.
You had a baby?
That's not true.
Did you have a baby?
So we have something that's going on. So hold on.
Vic just want to be a contrarian tonight. That's all. He's just the contrarian. He just want to be a contrarian.
I mean, I've spoken. It's just it's not good dinner conversation. You know what I'm saying? I've spoken on children that I still count. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The same way that you spoke on the way that those ladies counted children. You understand? But I didn't have no say in those decisions. You see what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying, Vic, about what you're saying, because there is the idea that it's her body, her say. But that's why I said that there's two separate things going on. You got the issue of you're killing someone else's DNA from a legal standpoint, which shouldn't happen. That's the child is a child of two parents. However, how do we determine who's the father while the child is, let's say, in gestational period? You see what I'm saying? That's very difficult from a scientific perspective. But then you have the moral side, which says if this is his child too, you can't be the only one making the decision. While at the same time, as a man, do you really want to be making a decision to kill your own child?
So why wouldn't the person who has this ultimate right, which means you have the ultimate responsibility to stress contraceptive or stress birth control or stress plan B, whatever you had to do to keep yourself in a situation that you were in control and you didn't have to do that to nobody's life, as opposed to saying, take the rubber off, I'm allergic to latex, I don't like it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying when we talk about
doing goofy shit, hooking niggas with the leg,
Oh my God! Listen, stop. This is not BETO After Dark, okay? Not the BET After Dark version.
I'm saying that was surface. That was surface. I'm just saying.
The leg around your back. Come on now.
There are things people do voluntarily to put themselves in fucked up predicaments.
Okay.
Then they look at the world as if they.
Let me get this out the way now. Women like it when men come inside of them. It feels better. Humans are humans, okay? Now that we done got that out the way, okay, big.
Okay, so if you ask for that,
hey, no. Let me
turn around and say, I ain't ready for this.
Wait a minute. Let me finish there. I'm just saying that I acknowledge that humans are going to be human, and humans like that feeling. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to act like humans don't have a propensity to do that. They do. Okay, let's have a little bit of grace here. What I'm saying is this: the idea of contraception, right, is separate from the moral question of should a man equally have say in what's happening inside of the woman's body. I make both arguments for yes and no. That's personally, I make both arguments because truth be told, if I was a man, I don't know if I would want the decision to kill something. I just don't know if I would want that. And as a man on the opposite side, sure, you shouldn't be doing anything with my DNA unless you've gotten clearance to do that. So I make both arguments. But to your point about contraceptive, right? We can talk about that from a responsibility standpoint, right? But let's be clear about contraceptive. All right, there's a lot that goes into contraceptive, which is your biology mixing with it, right? How strong it is, whether or not it makes sex better or kind of makes sex not better. Like there's a lot that goes into that. But truth be told, a woman should protect herself. But we're talking about technology here, which is something that's artificial. So if we say, well, take technology, all the fake shit away. Let's suppose something happened. We don't have technology anymore. Now what?
Watch who you fucking raw. How about that? I bet they ain't gonna run out of condoms. None.
No. There was a time when there was no such thing as condoms. There was a time when there was a such thing.
That was before Magic Johnson and AIDS. But now that everybody know through the spread of AIDS about contraception, like rubbers, because that AIDS made niggas put rubbers on. Niggas ain't want to put rubbers on. That's why when a bitch say I don't like it, they say cool.
Well, there was a time before AIDS where men and women, especially in marriages, there was no such thing as condoms. There was only the pull-out method.
Niggas was passing diseases around.
I'm not saying they wasn't passing diseases around. I'm just saying the last 3,000 years, roughly, men have been going raw. The condom thing is a very new thing. And I'm telling you now, I study emergency circumstances for a living. And if anything should happen with one volcano on this planet that goes off and doesn't turn off in approximately 24 hours, suddenly the manufacturing of condoms will stop. There will be very little contraceptive if you can get your hands on it, because contraceptive depends very much on these laboratories, which cannot run if they're in a state of emergency, which means it's not operational. So I'm telling you now, at any given moment, there could not be these things. So the question now is, what do we do without technology to avoid some of this stuff? What is our responsibility? My thing is this. It's unfortunate, but if you know that you can't afford children, right? You can't be having sex.
You gotta get you some religion. You know, religion means to restrain yourself.
Oh! I get you. I got you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Something you gotta move in a certain way, and people ain't moving on even their own principles. They're not sticking to any script. There's moving and doing and whatever feel good, whatever make you happy. Everybody want to go back to being a hippie in the middle of this crazy time, and it's just counterproductive because you don't want to stand by the results of what you do, how many drugs you do in front of your children. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit count. And people just very irresponsible. And if you're gonna make that decision, I say this: back in the day, I don't give a damn if you ain't want that baby. or whatever situation brought that baby on, you gave it to the church, you put them on the fireman's doorstep, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you had to do, but you brought that baby on to this world because that baby is a energy passing through you as a conduit.
Well,
you don't have no say so on that life once it's created.
Well, truth be told, shouldn't nobody have any say so on life, which is why abortion right now is being retracted back in most states. And I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, you're going to notice that there'll be a difference in mate selection and amount of children born. Right now, the population already dwindling, but it's going to dwindle some more because abortion isn't legal in too many places anymore. People forgetting that, guess what? People are still having sex the way they used to, yet people aren't getting as many abortions anymore because it's illegal in most states. Yeah. So I think it's like 4 states in the United States where abortion is legal. And yeah, just 4. So that's something that men are going to have to start realizing it's going to affect them too. When you're having casual sex with a woman and you just want the sex, you don't want the responsibility, and then she gets pregnant and in her state she can't get an abortion. Now if y'all thought that the abortion laws was just going to be abortion laws, no. According now, if a woman gets pregnant and there's no abortion and she can't get an abortion, the state will charge child support from the moment of conception. Okay, the moment of conception, and it will be backlogged. And trust me, it's one thing to pay for, it's one thing to pay for child support in a child that is here, right? But no, they trying to get their money all the way through because that's how the state is. You know, people don't realize that abortion affects men just as much as it affects women. And they not playing out here anymore. So you're gonna start seeing people be more responsible with having children. And I bet you in 100 years we won't be having this conversation about irresponsibility, because it's like, first off, there's no social programs for women that have illegal babies now, not illegitimate, illegal babies, because if you try to get an abortion and your child come out messed up because you was trying to self-abort, you can go to jail for that. So, let's just be clear about it. Things are changing. So as much as we're having this conversation now about, well, do men have the right to say so, according to the state, nobody has the right to say anything. And if that egg meet that sperm, ain't nobody saying shit anymore in most places. So y'all can take that how you want it and run that to the kitchen. But that's how it's going to be from here on out.
I think when you force to face reality, which is you shouldn't be able to do no shit like that, morally, like without religion, like snuff something else's life out once it's been created.
I mean, the way the government looks at it is they already know for maybe 5 to 10 years, there'll be casualties, meaning there'll be people that have to get used to the way the country is now being ran. But after a certain amount of time, people will conform. People will say, oh, I only make $40K a year. I can't afford to have children. I have to use contraception and I have to use condoms every single time. Like, it'll be really that, because I'm telling you, like, social programs are drying up. Abortion now is illegal. Like, there is nothing for you when you have a child except for the court system that's going to force you to take care of that child one way or another.
Right.
I'm just going to say this. Again, every decision that people make is always going to have some type of consequence to it. So if you are in a relationship with someone and you feel like, hey, you don't have the need to tell the partner anything, or you don't have to get the partner's permission. I mean, it's permissible. You have your own choice, your own right, but consequences where it could probably affect the relationship may apply, or it may apply like in a whole different type of way, whether it be keeping a kid or not. I just think that it's a situation where I feel like, okay, once a woman is pregnant, it's like, okay, every little thing that you make is crucial. Even if, let's say, you decide to, like, I mean, the partner, the man and the woman decide, hey, together we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna keep the child or whatever. Cool. I mean, now later on the child is born, but maybe the child is being born with a defect. Everything is pretty much like by chance, because you never know what's going to really happen in the future. You never know if you may run into like some crazy people, which is funny because like I was watching this Lifetime show on Wi-Fi yesterday where two parents had a child that was born, but then the nurse took the child and raised her for like a good, 18 or 23 years. And it took 23 years for the child to be reunited by her parents again. But anyways, you may come into and cross into like a Lifetime type of situation where you may did everything right and some trauma or catastrophe may happen. So everything, whether it be a good or bad consequence, is going to like happen either way that you cannot avoid. So yeah, with that, hey, I'm gonna let you guys like continue to rock out if you guys choose. I'm gonna just fall back in a minute and just get something to eat.
Okay, I'm getting ready to go get something to eat too.
Okay. All right, well, cool. Well, I guess we could end it for the day, man. Look, thank you everybody for tuning in to Knowledge Relationships. Again, we'll definitely be back soon, very soon. And shout out to all the people that came by. Not Your Average Guy, thank you for tuning in. Creative Solutions, I saw you. Thank you for tuning in. K Marion, thank you for tuning in as well, sharing like the videos. And so continue to be prosperous, and everybody make sure you guys get your minds right. So with that being said, we are definitely out, folks. And Lola, hit me up whenever you're available. We can probably talk later. All right, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get to the outro. Oh, first I got to cue this music off. You know how it be, man. I'm mad rusty. Oh, there we go. Anyways, great conversations, people. It was definitely fun. You see my little big finger like scrolling through. I'm trying to. There we go. Let me read these last comments before I go. Actually, this guy says, always told my kids that every choice have a consequence, be good and bad. K Mayor says, good afternoon, lovely people. Happy autumn. Be safe. None of those decisions are easy. Childbirth, raising child, or aborting a pregnancy in any trimester. He says, peace. And she says, virtual hugs with good vibes. All right, everybody. Go up here. Later, everybody. Get your minds right. Stay tuned for the next show. Peace.
Knowledge and relationships.